Hi, so glad you are joining me today. This morning I was speaking with Mr. Polito about a couple of different things. One, this problem, you might have noticed with all of these major websites, CNN, all the way through the government of the United Kingdom going offline. So I explain how sites work on the larger scale sites. And I also got into what happened here. What was the problem? And then we got a little bit more into the question about Putin. He's meeting with President Biden. Has he been testing President Biden? Some people really think that he has been, that Putin is trying to see how far he can go. So we get into that. And I think I disprove the absolute certainty some people have been expressing.
Right now, I want to get this guy on board. He is our good friend and tech talk guru, Craig Peterson. I think it was just recently the birthday of the man who's credited with inventing the internet, no, not Al Gore. And I just want to remind you that if you're on the internet, you may be using, or part of your search on the internet may have some code that was written by the great Craig Peterson. And he joins us now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, back in the day. I remember when.
So, let's get to this.
Heady days back then.
Yeah, let's get to this. I want to get to Putin, Biden, and cyber attacks, and your take on that. But first, we just had some kind of a crash of a cloud, out on the West Coast? But obviously, when something like that happens, it affects all of the internet, right?
Yeah, it's something that Tom Bavacqua knows a lot about, cloud. And
please don't bring Tommy B into this, please. It's certainly, even I know it's a different type of cloud.
Oh, okay, that cloud. Yeah, here's what happened. Let's talk about what happens with normal websites when things are working properly. There are distributed servers all over the world, and this company, Fastly, has 80 data centers located everywhere. And the idea is you go to one of these bigger websites, and that website has a quick look at you saying, where are you? Oh, okay, you're in Western Mass. So we have a data center close to you. So now it's feeding the website, which is the pictures and the text and everything. It's feeding that website to you from Western Mass. Right? It doesn't make sense to have it come from California. It's going to slow it down, and it's just going to be annoying. Or if you're in Europe or South Africa, right? So these are all distributed data centers, and they're called a content delivery network. And there's a few of them out there. I use one that Amazon provides, but Fastly has their own content delivery network. So that all of this content, particularly the big content, like if you're watching a video on CNN, that's going to be delivered through Fastly's content delivery network somewhere close to you. That's the whole idea behind it. And apparently what happened this morning is just tons of major sites like Reddit, Spotify, Twitch, the UK government, Hulu, HBO, Quora, PayPal, Vineo, goes on, CNN, New York Times, BBC, Bloomberg, Financial Times, all went offline. And that was due to a problem with this content delivery network at Astley. And it looks like right now, according to everything I've seen out of Astley this morning and researching it, that they had a bug. And it wasn't a hack. They weren't hit with ransomware, but they had a bug in their content delivery network. They were able to get it up and running in about an hour. It wasn't a big, long outage. And these are the types of things that happen with these very complex networks nowadays. It's amazing it doesn't happen more often.
I'm glad to hear that from you, that it's amazing to hear it doesn't happen more often. I'm glad to hear that. Now, let's get to something that is happening more often. More and more attacks out of Russia, in which Putin says, I don't know what it's all about. I have no idea. Ask Moose and Squirrel. He's pretending he doesn't know anything about it. But in fact, he does. And Putin and Biden are going to meet in the next few days. The whole G7 summit is going on. Is this Putin testing Biden? Like, how much can I get away with this guy? Pops my dog does. Like, he will test the limits. Like, how much can I get away with until they say, hey, sit or whatever.
Yeah, this is a problem. Every time a president's come into office, Obama was this way. It happened to a less degree with Bush and others, and it did not happen at all with Trump. The Russians, the Chinese, and others have tested the president of North Korea. You look at China right now, flying over Taiwan and in their airspace, threatening our country by taking over Taiwan. And we've talked about it before. Yeah. That's where our major production of chips is.
Yep.
Now, when you're talking about this whole cybersecurity thing, it smells like Russia. And the main reason it smells like Russia is this ransomware has kill switches in it that say if you have a Russian or one of a dozen other keyboards, then we will immediately stop and it doesn't install the software.
Right.
So there's two reasons, and I'm sending out an email about that with a little video training on how to put a virtual Russian keyboard on your computer to everyone that's on my email list. So if you're on my list, you're going to find out how to do it. It's very easy,
nice.
And it's going to stop almost all this Russian malware. But here's the big question. Is it, in fact, the reason for this because it's Putin and he doesn't want to mess around with all of these former Soviet states?
Yep.
Or is it bad guys saying, I don't want to go to a Russian gulag? We don't really know. But what we do know is what you were just leading towards, which is we've had attacks against all of our major infrastructure.
Yeah.
Every piece of it.
Yep.
And we're seeing releases from the FBI that none of the infrastructure is safe. We've, in fact, had some statements about that. Look at the statement on CNN this last Sunday, 2 days ago, where one of the secretaries of the Biden administration, I forget her name now, said that we are not safe. Our infrastructure is not safe. And you've got Rep. Michael McCall from Texas saying that the cyber incursions absolutely are Putin's way of testing President Biden. How are we going to respond?
Yeah.
And it's a big question, Jim, because if there's a missile that launches from Russian territory, we know where it launched from. We can send something in and blow up that missile silo or whatever it might be. If there is a hack in, if it's a somewhat indiscriminate hack, which many of these are, but maybe if it's even more directed hack, all we know is the tools they were using look like they were Russian. Yeah. What if China is trying to convince us that it's Russia and is using these tricks and Russian tools? Yes.
You're getting
China.
You're getting all James Bond on me right now. Like Spectre would always, like in From Russia with Love, make the free world think it was the Soviets and make the Soviets think it's the free world, when in fact, right in the middle, it's Spectre. Yeah, it's right out of the James Bond novels.
And how about Carver, where Tomorrow Never Dies? He's launching his own missiles and trying to get both sides to fight. And we were warned decades ago about the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, Eisenhower said it. Yeah,
exactly. That this is going to be a problem. So let's throw that into the mix too. Who's to say some nefarious guy like the Carver character from James Bond isn't manipulating? We just don't know. We can see fingerprints, but as we know from Mission Impossible, those can be faked as well.
Yeah, we're talking with Craig Peterson, our tech talk guru and all-around great guy, and it is interesting. I know last week it was fascinating when you told us one of the ways to protect yourself from Russian hacking is to have this virtual Russian keyboard, and most of their hacking will ignore you because, we don't want to go after one of our own. But you're saying, how do we know that's not the Chinese making it look like it's the Russians? You can't trust anybody in this. And my fear is, and we step out of tech now and we go into politics, my fear is that Biden is not considered someone who's going to be tough on nations for doing this, that he's going to be weak. And they just want to know, to what extent can we get away with it? And if they get away with it with this, then that's going to embolden them. Say the Chinese, well, we're going to take Taiwan. We're going to take Taiwan. What's he going to do? During the Obama-Biden administration, Putin took the Crimea. Boom. Just grabbed it. No, this is ours, not yours. And we let it happen.
They did respond, Jim. President Obama said that he told them to stop it.
That was over the hacking of the election. Like, I told them to stop it. Yes, that's great. That's great.
So we know there's a response.
Yeah, we do know there's a response. Yeah, exactly.
So there's only one thing we can do here, Jim, and that is we have to protect ourselves. You were talking earlier today about the training that you're doing there and other companies are doing. That is ultimately important. However, the problem is it's never 100%. Nothing's ever 100%.
Yeah.
And there are, I hate to say this, the industry I'm in is, I'm trying to protect businesses, right? And government agencies, counties, cities, everything from hackers. And the thing I hate to say is that it is full of charlatans.
Yeah.
It's full of them.
Yeah,
all of these people selling snake oil.
We can help you. Yeah, we can help you there. We got I got Charlie working on your server over there. He's got it all hooked up. You're going to be fine. Nobody's going to be able to get in, tight as a drum.
Yeah, and it includes the big names. You've got McAfee out there, John McAfee, saying McAfee antivirus is useless.
Yeah.
He's on video saying that, okay?
Yeah.
The Norton software, same problem. One of their senior executives admitted that their software is useless. You've got to have a full stack. None of this is good enough to protect you. I hate to say this, but Microsoft, and they're lying to you. You have been lied to, and that's why you got hacked.
Yeah.
Now, Microsoft has some great tools now. They're finally pulling up their socks. You can use Microsoft Windows Defender. Make sure you have it. Make sure your software is up to date. This sounds like a broken record.
No, I know, but it's worth
repeating. The majority of computers are not up to date. And get a good next-generation firewall. Cisco has the best at the high end, these firepower firewalls with the FMCs and stuff, no doubt. But the fact that major companies like Colonial don't have these things in place blows my mind. But again, it goes right back to you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't. Well, so how can folks get in touch with you? How do they do it?
Okay, so I'm going to put out this thing on how to do the Russian keyboard. I've got it recorded. I've got to edit it. But how to put it onto your computer, the right ways to do that. And that's going to be in the newsletter. And you can get that and stay in touch by just going to craigpeterson.com/subscribe. That's Craig Peterson with an O.com/subscribe. And you'll get my weekly newsletter. I have these little 3-minute trainings that I'm putting together, and you'll get all of it. And that's all free. If you want to hire me, that's fine. But this is all free because we've got to stop these bad guys.
All right. Craig, thank you. As usual, always a pleasure, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks again, Jim. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.